What is up, y'all? Hope y'all are doing well. Thank you. Far too kind, far too kind. I hope y'all are doing well. Christmas is upon us next week, so I hope y'all have all your Christmas shopping done. Um, what would we do without Amazon? Now, I do wish miss the days of Toys R Us, where you could just go in there and get toys and whatever. But listen, did all our shopping from my couch. Okay, so that works for me. So I hope y'all are close to being done as well. So we're gonna get right into it. We are here to talk about Ready to Love, season 11, episode 7, and it is getting spicy. And so the assignment for this week was that the men had to introduce their the ladies with whoever they're interested in to their exes. Okay, and this was a really good show. I really did enjoy it. So let's get right into it. The first one was Carde. I think this was the best one, and they started off with that one. So let's get into him. So he invites his ex. Her name is Day. Carde. Day. Get it? I don't know. Anyway, or is it Cardi? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm putting a hyphen unnecessarily over the E. Maybe it's just Cardi. But anyway, his ex's name is Day. Um, Sometimes when the ex comes on these shows, I think they think that they're the dates, and this was the case. The outfit was a no. Anytime you go out and you have to keep adjusting something, just take it off. You see what I'm saying? Just try it again. When she came in, she had to pull down her skirt like 5 times before she even sat down. So it's like you might just try something else. But anyway, so I could tell that she was very domineering. So when she first came in, I thought it was an odd match for Carde, given that seemingly he's very soft spoken. And yeah, I was just like, huh, that's interesting. So Dominique arrives first and she asks so the day asked Dominique if she's high maintenance. Okay, so she was judging Dominique right off the bat, but Dominique played it cool. And Dominique said that whatever she requires, she can also pay for herself. Um, and then the mentions that like that's good because Carde he makes good money. So Dominique's eyes lit up. She was like, "Oh, okay, good." Because remember, y'all, never forget that Dominique, her ex, I think she was married. I think it was more than a girlfriend. Her ex was an NFL player who's a Hall of Famer. He makes a lot of good money or did, and so I'm sure she's used to the finer things in life. And so she was very happy to know that Carde could oblige. Okay, so then next was Shannon and Ashanti. They both arrived, and this is where things took a quick left turn. Okay, so I'm not sure if Carde's ex like had too many drinks. I'm not sure. She was just really aggressive, and that could just be who she is. So she asked Ashanti how she felt about Carde, and Ashanti was like, "Oh yeah, that's my dog," just in casual, just talking in casual. And but that set her completely off. Okay, and she was like, "Oh wow." That's just your dog, not your lover? And she couldn't get over that, okay? That spiraled into like a 10-minute conversation from what we seen. And I just thought the ex was way out of bounds. It's like, okay, just note that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the job of the ex on these shows is like to have a list of questions, ask the questions, sit back and listen. Like your whole job is to see what they're saying, their answers. You know him best, and then at the end, come back and say, "Okay, this is what I surmised. This is my summary from what I seen." But she was so domineering and dominating the conversation. I don't even know how many questions. From a production standpoint, from our side, that was all they talked about. I'm hoping it was more than that. In real life, but she just dominated so much, they really couldn't even get good conversations in. And so I think she kind of failed the assignment and then she just made too much out of that. Like I just would have noted that. And then at the end, I would have been like, you know what? When I asked her, how she felt about you, she said that you were her dog. And I just feel like, what I'm saying? she didn't need to make that such a big issue in the moment as she did. It's almost like she's the type of person that has to one up or has to win a conversation and has to prove her point. Um, and also, I also always say too, on a dating show like Ready to Love, you have to bring the right person to the conversation for the mission at hand, for the task at hand. You need your most level headed ex. 'Cause I'm sure, most of them have had more than one ex. Let's bring the one that's going to be the most level headed. I don't know if that was Day. I don't think that was Day. Okay. So I don't know why Carde brought her. You knew that it was going to be something. She was going to pop off real quick. It wasn't going to take much to trigger her, as we seen. So I don't think that was the right ex to bring, first of all. Um, and then it's like, too, I know he has a daughter, I think. So for the people that had kids, I thought it would have been cool to maybe bring that person because this person, they know you the best. Y'all share a child. Whoever you're gonna be with, y'all gonna have to be cordial anyway. So I thought maybe he could have brought that person instead of Day. Um, and I do think Carde's confidence. I gotta give a boo for Carde. I think his confidence has to get better as well. I think he let that conversation linger way too long. That was a turn off for me. He was just sitting there looking, and I'm just like, are you gonna step in? Are you gonna say anything? Um, I would have said, if I was Carde, I would have been like, when they were going back and forth, like, that's my dog. No, you shouldn't be your dog because you gotta have a sexual connection. I would have like, hey, hey, hey. First of all, I wouldn't have any of these ladies here if there wasn't some type of physical attraction or a sexual connection. So she misspoke. She said, dog, let's just move on. You see what I'm saying? That's what a man does. Like, just step in and say, hey, that's not what it is. Day, come on now. Let's move on. What's the next question you have? And he just sat there. So that kind of turned me off. And that kind of goes back to what we seen in the very first episode when he was so timid, he was sweating, he couldn't get his words together and all this kind of stuff. And that's to each his own, but that just really turned me off. Um, and then too, y'all, this might be an orange flag. Y'all remember last season? I can't remember the name of the guy. He was real tall. I just can't remember his name. He was like six. I'm not even gonna say 6'7". He was he was 6'8", 6'6". Um, and y'all remember when we met his friends? The only thing that his friends could bring up was like sexual stuff, and they were asking the women like, "Well, what kind of positions y'all do?" Because he likes sex and he loves sex. And I was like, "Dang, that's kind of a red flag. What's going on?" And so when she was like, "Oh, that's gonna be a problem because sex is a very big thing to him," and then also Carde was sitting down, but when Ashante said, "Well, I mean, dang, is Carde some type of freak or something?" Sitting down the whole time, just looking. When she said that, he was like, "Oh, wait, hold on, y'all. All right, that's enough." So I was just like, is this something we need to know? Like, what's going on, Carde? So let's just put an orange flag for that. I thought that was really interesting. Um, but anyway, I know they had to dominate their relationship because my lord. Yeah. So anyway, so that was Carde. Next was Bello. So remember, we got our good eye on Bello from what we learned last episode on how he just has one night stands randomly, unprotected sex, and is just knocking people up. Okay, so we're not gonna let him being suave and all that pull the wool over our eyes. All right. So he brings his ex Tara, and I must say all of the exes were really beautiful. Like everybody's ex was really nice. So he brings Tara, and I'm just saying, y'all. She said she said you don't really have a type. Your type is women. So again, I'm just saying that goes along with this whole we getting random women pregnant in Miami thing. So it's like you don't necessarily like short, tall, light skin, dark skin. It can be anybody, long as it's a woman. So that kind of scared me again with Bello. Okay. So Tara asks, what the lady's intentions were. Dominique immediately said that she was trying to get married. Then Tara asked, Ashante why she hasn't spent enough time with Bello. And I was with Ashante with this. I'm like, why hasn't Bello spent enough time with her? Like, why hasn't the phone works both ways? So I didn't understand that. But I was with Ashante. I think that's a good question. She should ask Bello. Because remember what I always tell y'all: if a man wants you, he'll pursue you. So if he's not pursuing, if he's not calling and texting, does he really like her like that? And I don't. I don't. I think that, and you'll kind of see this and with because Ashante was busy. Okay, she was at everybody's date. She does give a very strong homie. She gives a very strong friend. It was hard to see the chemistry, and I think that was the same thing with this as well. I think they get along as friends, but I wasn't really seeing the chemistry in that way. So then Dominique asked Tara if Bello was romantic. She says Bello told her that he doesn't like PDA. And I wouldn't have got that from Bello. Like the way he comes off as such a gentleman and so charismatic and charming, I wouldn't have thought that he has a hard time with romance. So that was very surprising. However, y'all, I'm just saying, y'all know we got our good eye on Bello. For players, I'm not saying this is Bello, but I'm just saying for players, that's a thing, right? If I got four different women, let's just say I'm a man, I got four different women, I can't be seen out in public holding this one's hand and then kissing you and hugging that one, right? I might get caught up. So what I'm gonna say is, oh yeah, I don't do PDA, right? That's what I'm gonna tell all of them. That way, when we in public, you won't expect me to hold your hand or kiss you because I'm like, I remember what I told you. I don't really do PDA. I'm my bad. Let me get on pillow. So then I can tell you I don't really do PDA. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong, but I just feel like that's something that men use when they be doing too much and they don't want to get caught up. So they just tell everybody, yep. And when I'm in public, I don't be doing, I don't really like to hold hands and kiss and stuff like. Because I feel like a man will do that for the woman that he really likes and loves. You know what I'm saying? So when a man is makes that a point to tell you I don't do that, I'm just like, why not? And what's going on? And don't get me wrong, because I'm like that too. That kind of it's kind of cringy to me, but I will. Like if my husband wants to hold my hand, I'm probably like I will. I'm cringing on the inside, but I would do it. Um, so Bello, what's going on? Is that a scheme that you setting up? What's going on? Okay. But he laid it on thick when Dominique left. He made sure to hold her hand and then to kiss her and everything. So I don't know if he's performing or is he willing to evolve? Maybe he realizes, you know what, that is something that I can work on. So I don't know if he was putting on a performance or what was going on there. So back at the table with Ashante, he found out that Ashante has read this some obscure book that they were talking about that only he and the person that told him has read. Ashante has read it as well. So that was very that impressed him. And then he also said before that they have a lot in common. Um, I just don't see the sexual chemistry though. So I think they would be in Ashante's words, I think that could be her dog. Okay. I think that could be her dog. But I just didn't see the sexual chemistry. I didn't see that. Even when he took her out and walked her out to her car, there was no hand holding. It was just very gentlemanlike. And again, I just got that with Ashante and everybody. I just think she's younger, just in a different place in her life. I don't see it with them two, but I think they could be really good buddies, really good friends. All right, so let's move along to Darius. So Darius, he invites his ex, whose name is Ashley, and then he invites Ashley from Ready to Love and Nicole. And y'all know I think Darius is an undercover player as well, but I think he has like Bello, so much emotional intelligence. So I think he's not sloppy with it. I think he knows what to say and how to handle women and everything like that. So the first question Ashley asked is how long Ashley from Ready to Love asked his ex Ashley how long they were together. Um, I thought that was a straightforward question, but Ashley struggled with that. She couldn't really answer it, and she was like, yeah. So again, What's going on? Why couldn't you say we dated for 5 years off and on? We dated for 2 years off and on, or whatever the situation was. I didn't know why that seemed like a trick question. Like, are y'all still together? It was given, are y'all still messing with each other? That's what I was thinking. Like, why was that a trick question? Just, oh, 2 years, 3 years. Oh, I think we started dating in 2018 to 2022, even if you don't know it right off the bat. So I'm wondering if they still like messing with each other, or it's a thing where maybe they're not messing with each other ongoing, but like if he gives her the call, she'll be there type thing. So I don't know. I wasn't really feeling that. Um, so then when Nicole was at the table, along with Ashley, his ex. So at this point, Ashley from Ready to Love walks off. Darius says, I'll walk you to your car. Boom. Okay. So now it's Nicole at the table and Ashley, his ex. So they got into this whole thing where Nicole doesn't think of herself as a head turner, because that's kind of what the ex was saying. Like, he needs to be with somebody that when you come in the room, like everybody's heads turn and your aura and all this. And Nicole's like, yeah, I really don't. I don't see myself like that. Almost like an arm candy type of thing is what Darius is going for, which I absolutely believe it and I can see it. Um, she wants to know that he would be proud of her just how she is. That's what Nicole was saying. And I love that. I don't think that's being insecure. I think that's just self awareness. So I really like that Nicole was like, yeah, that she wasn't trying to say like, oh, okay, I can be that, but she was like, nah, that's not me. Like I don't see myself like that. And I'm with her because I would say the same exact thing. I don't see myself like that either. Like, I'm not some fashionista wearing 10-inch heels type of person. You see what I'm saying? So I felt her on that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that as a man. Darius wants his match. Darius is the prize. He's the candy. So he wants a woman on his arm that is the same, which is why I was surprised he didn't go for Dominique. I'm surprised they didn't have any type of connection, because it seems like on a fashion level, I mean, they would turn heads all day, every day. So I was surprised at that. Um, Yeah, my default is Jordans, a pair of Jordans, some tights, and a sweatshirt or hoodie. You know what I'm saying? A hat. Like this is how I'm most comfortable every day, all day. I'm not saying that I can't put on heels and a dress and look nice. Like, I will do that if we're going out to a show or on a date or something like that. Like, of course, but that's not me. And I think that's why dating is so important, because it's hard to change somebody. So you want to get somebody that what's how are you most comfortable? And this is me most comfortably. If we just going out real quick to do something or whatever, this is me. Like, I don't do 5-inch heels and stuff. I don't like doing that. I will, but that's not who I am. And so I think that's important to know that for yourself. What do you expect out of a woman? What do you expect out of a man? Um, so And the same thing, Darius is a lot, because I think he said this at the end too. Like, I think I would be too much for her, and I agree. He would be too much for Nicole. He would be too much for me. I would be like, dang, what? Can you not just put on like a button down? Like, what? Do all your blazers have the fur? Does it come like that? Are you putting fur on the blazers? Like, and he's a very nicely dressed man. Don't get me wrong, but that would be too much for me. Like, I couldn't be with Darius. So Darius walks Ashley out and gives her a fur. Um, I think Ashley said that was bold. I also thought that was bold, because it's like you didn't really know that what the dynamic was going to be. To do that in front of your ex, which I guess that doesn't really matter, and Nicole, with Nicole there. I don't know. I thought that was a lot, but it was either bold or it was rude. I don't know which one. But he, at least he waited. At least he didn't do it at the table, I guess. So he walked her out to the car and did that whole grand gesture. Um, he's definitely into Ashley and nobody else on the show. So I think everybody else, I think is still, all the other men are still weighing their options. I think with this gesture, Darius has made it very clear who he's into. Um, and then the ex agreed that also that Ashley is more his speed. Yeah, so that was Darius's scene. And two, it's like, I get it, but I would have wanted that gift in another setting. You know what I mean? I would have wanted that at our one-on-one date. Like I'm walking in, he was like, "Oh, what's up? You know, I got you a gift," and we could have had it. Versus like, I'm walking to my car, he has to whisk me off, like, "Oh yeah, here you go," you know. So I thought he probably should have waited, but it's all good. Um, and then to, I always got to get on production. I just feel like I hate it. I feel like even if they had to span this over the course of two shows, they're just not showing us enough conversation. It's like they're asking one question, like, all right, gotta go. They always do that. So anyway, um, if I am the women, okay. So I think so far we've seen what Darius, Bello, and Carde. If I'm one of the women on the show, the very first question I'm asking is, why did y'all break up? Like in real life, you probably wouldn't get a chance to talk to somebody's ex, but in the event that you do get that opportunity, that's all I want to know. What happened? You see what I'm saying? So I don't know why in these three, and again, that's why I prefaced it. Maybe production cut that out. Maybe they did ask, but why is nobody asking that? They asking all kind of other silly questions. I just want to know, like, what happened? I need to know. And I think from that really show because anybody can try to sugarcoat, but when you ask that question to answer that, you got to tell the real. So I was disappointed that none of the ladies have asked that. All right, so we move on to Vince. So Vince invites his ex Ebony, and he invites Ashante, Donna, and Nicole. Y'all, the only chance that Vince has on this show is Donna. So I'm not even really sure why he invited the other two. Because I don't think anybody else is checking for him. So, and Donna was listening. Okay, let's clap it up for Donna. Um, Donna didn't waste any time. Okay. First question. All right. She asked, why does your relationship end? Ebony says that Vince likes to debate, which I didn't know that about him. My whole problem with Vince was I just didn't know if he knew how to be serious. Everything with him is a joke. So I didn't know if he knew how to be serious. But I guess this is another knock in that everything with him turns into a debate, which that can be so draining and tiring. So I understand. Um, I can understand how that could end a relationship very quick. If I say, well, yeah, I think the sky is blue. Well, I see how you can say the sky is blue, but it's kind of really blue and it's some white too. Cause you see the clouds, you're like, oh my God. People like that, they always gotta, you're like, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm trying to say. Stop. So I could definitely see Vince being like that. Um, so, but what was so funny after she asked, so Ebony says it's because he likes to debate, and he was like, "Oh, I mean, so he literally starts proving her point right there, and gets into a whole debate about whether or not they broke up because he debates, which was hilarious. But I was wondering if Donna picked that up. It almost seemed like Donna was on Vince's side because she was like, "Yeah, all she had to do was be quiet and stop." It's like she had to have a final word or something. I was like, Donna, no, no, please keep your eyes open. Like she's proving the point right now. So I don't know what Donna was on. I'm hoping she was keeping her eyes open on what was happening. So then Ebony asked if they like to stay in the house or if they like to go out. And Ashanti said that she loves to go out and she needs to be with somebody that likes to go out. Ebony said that Vince is more of a homebody. He needs someone to take care of the kids. He needs a nurturer. And it was hilarious because Ashanti was like, "Ew." Oh man, and I don't know if Ashanti has kids, so I could understand. Okay. And again, that's the importance of dating and getting to learn somebody. Because you gotta know, like we were talking about the whole dress thing, and how people present themselves. Um, this is another thing, like, are you a homebody or do you like to go out? I think we seen that on, was it last season of Ready to Love? Where dang, why can't I remember these people's names? The guy with the cornrows, right? Him and the girl, the lady he picked, they went off, they chose each other, he chose her. But when they came back, it didn't work out because he was like, "Dang, she like to go out all the time," and like I just be liking to be at the house. So that's the thing. Like if you like to go out all the time, that can drain somebody that's more that likes to stay at home. Hello, me. You know what I'm saying? I'm an only child, and so Nirvana for me is I'm at home, like, by myself. I don't need to be out and about. I don't need to be with people like that. I just don't. I consider myself to be more on the boring side. I would consider myself to be a homebody. And so I couldn't be with somebody that wanted to hang out all the time. That would drain me. You see what I'm saying? Um, Now don't get me wrong, like I will go out. Like, okay, let's say if it's 4 weekends in a month, like I potentially I would go out maybe one weekend out of a month. That's even a lot, you know what I'm saying? But I would, I just need advance notice. I don't do spare of the moment. I don't do day of friend call me, hey girl, what you doing? Like I don't do that. I need notice. That's just me though. And I know that about myself. So when finding my husband, I had to make sure that he wasn't a partier and needed to be out all the time and hanging out. So that's not my thing. When he tells me on a weekend, he's like, "Hey, babe, I'm gonna go hang out with my homeboys at around 8 o'clock." My eyes light up. I'm like, "Okay, do you want to go now?" You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, you gonna help me put the kids to bed? My bed, my bed. I love being by myself. You see what I'm saying? So I love when he's out with his homeboys. The kids are asleep. I get some junk food, watch my shows. What? That's fun for me. That's how I get energy. I don't get energy from being out. No, me and my husband, we will go out, but we really enjoy like being at the house, watching our shows, eating some good food, watching sports. That's fun for us. We don't need to be out. I go out with my friends maybe every couple of months. We're all married with kids, so it's the act of Congress to find a date where we all can we're all available. First of all, so yeah, I think too, it just changes. I think it's depends on the part of your life, that you're in too. Anyway, what's that tangent? This is a tangent. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So let me continue this tangent just a little bit. I think it does depend on the part of stage of life that you're in. Because I will say, pre kids, now we did go out a lot more, because we didn't have any responsibility. If one of our friends was having a little party or whatever, you're like, "Oh yeah, cool, we there." You know what I'm saying? But when you got '5 kids, it's a lot to move 5 people. So if one of them, it's a birthday party we got to go to, I'm like, "Oh gosh," because we got 3 small kids at that. They can't really dress themselves and feed themselves to a degree, so it's a lot. So I love it's a weekend. We don't have anything planned. That's a win for the Watts household. Okay, we winning if we don't gotta go nowhere. All right. Even New Year's Eve is coming up, and I know, but pre-kids, we was at somebody's party every New Year's Eve, a house party, whatever. Now, and granted, all 3 of our kids will be at my parents' house. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up for my parents. Even still, we will probably still be at the house chilling. Okay. When you got kids, you don't want to do too much. You just be wanting to relax and chill. And so I can see it. Ashante is probably a way totally different part of her life than Vince. Because I think Vince has 2 daughters. And so yeah, you just be tired. You be tired. You be tired. So Ashante does. I don't think she knows that life yet. Okay, my tangent's over. This is a tangent. Now, another thing, a part of this that was just, I'm not even saying it was a flag, but it did concern me because she was like, yeah, he expects his woman to be at home and nurturing and taking care of the kids and the finances. So, again, if I wanted to be with Vince, I would just have to clarify what his expectations were. Now, are you want me cooking every day, making meals from scratch? Do you help with kids? Do you help with the chores, Vince? Are you one of these type where I make the most money, so you need to be in there barefoot and pregnant type things? I would just have to know because I don't do too much. Now I ain't about to, okay. So I would just need to know, what do you mean by he wants his woman at home and taking care of the kids? What does that totally mean? Because we're gonna be taking care of the kids together. You see? Okay, so and then another thing she said that I would need to clarify too is that Vince loves the gym. And how would you feel about his gym schedule? I would need to know more about that too, y'all, because I know people, there's a difference between I work out every day because I work out every day. I'm at the gym at 7:15 a.m. every single day. Um, I'm only 5 feet, so I have to, if I eat anything, I gain weight. So I have to work out like a maniac. But I'm there for 50 minutes and I'm back home. And so for somebody to bring that up, how do you feel about his gym schedule? To me, entails that there's more to it than the average, oh yeah, I just work out for an hour and a half. So I'm wondering what that's about. Because I know people that can get carried away and they're in the gym for 3 hours. I don't know what routine you're doing, but I know some people that are in the gym for 3 hours in the morning, and then in the afternoon they gotta do something else, and they gotta make their shakes, and they gotta do this and that, and it's really like a whole thing. And so, I would want to know, and I'm glad he's healthy. That's excellent. I'm glad he's in shape. He wants to stay in shape. He takes his health very seriously. But I would need to know a little bit more about that. For her to bring that up, that must be like a big thing. There must be some more that goes into that. So I would need to know a little bit more about that. All right. So then we move on to Stephen. So Stephen, he invites Ashante, Donna, and Lauren. Ashante, I told y'all she's been busy. I think she's been at every single person's date except for Devon. I think she won't be at his. So his ex asks what their day to day life is like. So Donna, I think she is trying to get her master's degree, maybe. So she says she's in the library all day studying and doing homework. Ashanti says, I be out in these streets, I be hitting these restaurants. Lauren says she has to entertain people a lot. So she likes Steven's aura and his peace, and she would enjoy coming home to that. And then so then they ask her, Ashante asked her, what is Steven's worst quality? So that was a crazy way to put it. But the ex says it could be his emotional unavailability. I was like, wow, okay. Ashanti is afraid of this because she says she needs romance. And then Lauren chimes in and says she does send him emojis just trying to flirt. And he's like, haha. And he doesn't reciprocate. And and y'all, like I said, if a man likes you, I just don't think he probably doesn't like Lauren like that. If he's really into Lauren and she's doing that, he's gonna reciprocate. I just think I don't think he's that off. I just think he probably doesn't like her like that. Um, and then too, y'all, this is a good thing with dating. This goes into the love languages. You also have to understand how people like to receive love and show love, right? So you got the five love languages, words of affirmation. So some people need um and again, we all need all of these, but there's one that you really need more than the others. So words of affirmation, some people like people to be like, babe, I appreciate that. I love you. You're the best mom ever. You're really doing your thing out here. Da da da. All right. Quality time. Some people are like, when you get home, I need you to like, we need to be watching a movie together. Let's cook together. You need to be doing something with that person. Receiving gifts. Some people, it's, I need you to, you like when your husband or boyfriend or whoever, it's like, hey, babe, here's some flowers. Hey, babe, I picked you up this. Hey, I got you a bracelet. That's how they receive love, is when you get them things. Um, Physical touch. Some people, you need to be cuddled up, snuggled up. They want to be right beside you, and sit beside you on the couch, and they need to be right beside you all the time. And a lot of hugs and kisses and holding hands and things like that. And then my personal favorite, because look, I don't care about none of that. I'm an only child. I don't look. You ain't even got to be there. I need acts of service. Okay, acts of service gets overlooked, but that's the one. That's my favorite. That's what I need. My husband, though, if you really love me, you're gonna pick up that broom. You're gonna vacuum that living room. You're gonna pick up them toys. You're gonna help. You see what I'm saying? We got 3 kids, so that is how I experience his love. I experience love. Are you helping me? Okay. And again, I need all of it. We all need all of it, but I care less about the other stuff. Okay. You don't gotta say too much. You don't gotta be sitting right beside me. Just start a dishwasher. Okay. Start a dishwasher. That's just me. That's just me. But I will say that the way I show love is through gifts. I love giving. Like that is my love language. I've if you're in my life, I've given you something at some point in time. It could be my kids' teachers, it could be somebody at church, work, whatever. I love to give. So that's how I show love. I'm probably not gonna call you. Okay. I'm not gonna text you. We probably don't even talk like that. All right. We probably don't hang out like that, but I'm gonna give you something. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I show love. And so I say all that to say
This is a tangent.
I wonder how Steven, what his love language is. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know. He does seem more quiet, so I don't. We just got to figure out maybe how he shows love. Maybe it's not in the way that they are. They would. They want to receive it. It seems like Ashanti's is probably quality time. She's like she likes to be out and about a lot. Um, but yeah, but anyway, so think that maybe the mismatch there. And then Donna, so date was over, everybody's cool. And then Donna drops a bombshell and says she's ready to move in with somebody in like 3 to 6 months. She said that out of nowhere. And you can tell everybody, nobody said it, but in everybody's head, it was like, girl, what? She was like, I am ready. I'm ready to move in. And that definitely turned Steven off in his confessional. He said that was kind of crazy, which it is. So I was like, dang, Donna, you did too much. Which I don't think he was into Donna anyway, but still. Because listen, the only way a man was ever gonna move in with me, y'all, we're gonna be engaged or married. That's it. But again, that goes back to me being the only child. I don't want people in my space. I love living by myself. You think I was? I don't know. Why do people enjoy living with people like that? That you're not married to. Like I don't really get that. I was not trying to do that. So Donna, you're gonna get yourself in a situation. You need to chill out. You don't even know anybody after 3 months. That's still the honeymoon period. You know what I'm saying? That's the most dangerous period to make life decisions and with knowing somebody for 3 months. Of course, you're gonna think, oh my God, they're so great. We're gonna get married. Da, da, da. Just wait. Just wait. Okay. So the ex thinks that Lauren would be best for Steven. I disagree. I really like Ashante and Steven together the best. I just still feel like we don't know enough about Lauren. I think this was the only date she got invited to. Um, if I can remember correctly, y'all, I think Lauren was the one that's like 6 feet tall and has 3 sons or 3 kids, older kids. I don't think Steven's ready for 3 kids. If we're talking about the right person. So with that, I think Ashanti would be best for him. And then the ex said that Ashanti would require more effort. Okay, and that's why I really think Ashanti would be best for him because that's what I'm going to tell my sons. I think that I want them to be with a woman that requires more of them, right? You want to be with a woman that makes you a better man, that makes you better in some area of your life, that's going to challenge you in some area of your life. Not a woman that you can just be status quo, you don't got to change anything. You that's what I'm going to tell them. You want to be with a woman where you're like, dang, if I want to be with her, I'm gonna have to start. I got to get this part of my life together. I got to do this. I got to step up here. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what you want. You want a woman that's gonna make you rise to the occasion. And so when she said Ashanti requires more effort, I was like, bingo. That's exactly that's what you would want. That's what you would need. All right. So then we head over to Devon. So Devon he invites his ex Kayla. So Kayla asks what has been their experience with Devon. Shannon says Devon is very caring and a great guy. Y'all know that's my pick for him. So I was like, yes. Dominique says he sent her pink roses to her job. And I was like, wait, girl, you got a job? And I'm just saying that because again, she had the ex NFL player. She had all the fashions. I just figured she didn't work. Okay. So that was wrong with me. So Dominic has a job. All right. Nicole said she's not always sure if Devon likes her the way she likes him. And you could just feel her anxiety, right? So she sat down. He gives her a gift. She was like, "Yeah, it's my top connection." Then the next person comes in, gift. Next person comes in, gift. And she's like, "Well, dang." And then Dominic's like, "Oh yeah, he sent pink flowers to my job." And Shannon's like, "Oh yeah, he's just a great guy." And I think that just all sent Nicole over the edge a little bit. Because as a woman, you want to feel special, and you do want to feel different than the others. Okay, thus Darius getting Ashley the fur, right? He didn't get Nicole a fur. He only got Ashley a fur. Um, he sent flowers to the job, all that whole thing. So I didn't hear Nicole say anything special that he did for her, which is good because I want her to be with Shannon anyway. But Nicole was adamant that she gets upset when she sees Devon talking to anybody else, and she wants a man that doesn't play about her. So then Dominique said, in real life, yes, I agree. But we are on a game show. Thank you, Dominique. I say that all the time. I say that every season. Thank you, Dominique. Nicole, this is a game show, honey. This isn't real life. Like, of course, you wouldn't want your man talking to five other people, but you're on a show. That's what this show is about. You're doing the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Is he supposed to be mad at you? I don't know why people get on the show and get confused about that. Um, and you know what? I just want to say, I'm sorry, Dominic. I prejudged Dominique. We actually think a lot alike. Um, she reminds me a lot of myself. She's very level, minus the fashions, because I don't have the fashions. Okay, that's all I got. That's all I got. But yeah, she's level headed, and you never see her sweat. She's always very poised. So I like that about her. Um, but the ex said that she thought Shannon would be the best for Devon, and I was like, yes, because I concur. I agree. So I'm hoping again. I just keep saying I hope Devon doesn't get steered away with this whole Dominique thing. Y'all not gonna work. I know it's fun to feel like I think Dominique is somebody he like would love to have in his fantasies. That's like the girl of his dreams, but it's like just no. Shannon is your speed. So elimination time. I thought that Ashante might go home just because in all of the interactions, it was giving out real homey vibes. Like I didn't see the chemistry, even which was shocking between her and Steven. I didn't see it. And then I said Nicole because it was two different people that seen the insecurity thing. So with her, with Darius and her with Devon, so I was like, dang. And then I don't see anybody that had her as a top. Um, and so I was hoping Ashante would stay around for Steven. I love Nicole, but I just don't think her person is here. So that's what I was thinking. So I was right. It was between Lauren and Nicole, and then Nicole ended up going home. And it's all good. I think Nicole's a great woman. I just think a dating game, as she said too, it just didn't work out. I think she just needs to date in real life where it's just one person and it's exclusive. So, but anyway, so Ashante lives to fight another day. So, all right, y'all, that was episode 7. I hope you guys have a lovely Christmas next, what, Thursday. Remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. All right, so sing happy birthday to the Lord. And I'll see y'all next weekend. See